Good day, everybody. Welcome to Dental Voice Season 3. My name is Rolando, and this is Ira. The purpose of Dental Voice is to hear directly from professionals, clinicians in our industry, about the day-to-day things that they are working through. The focus of our third season here is understanding what people need to do to thrive, and then hearing from people about how they're overcoming some of the issues, the hurdles that they have to do that and have a wonderful experience. Our guest today is Anna Carolina Cuoto. She is the dental assistant at One Manhattan Dental, and she's got a wonderful background. She is from Brazil and was a dentist in Brazil, a pediatric dentist. So, Anna, thank you so much for joining us and
Well,
really appreciate the time. How are you?
thank you very much, Rolando. I'm good. Thank you very much for your time, for the invitation to be here. I'm very glad. And let's see what I can do to help. Let's have a chat.
Awesome. So, if you could give us a quick background on kind of your experience and how you went from Brazil to One Manhattan Dental in New York City.
Yeah, sure. Actually, my husband wanted to come because he was very interested in do this his postdoctoral fellow here, and there was a person that he really wanted to work with that was living here in the Rockefeller University. So he just came to me and said, "What do you think about living in New York?" And I never thought about that before. So actually, I'm a very open person. I have to tell you, like I like new experience. I like to. I'm a very curious person as well. So I never thought it to be that hard or that bad. So as soon as I knew we had the chance to come, I started looking for some positions that I could take in my field, because as I'm not able to practice dentistry here, I have to get a license for that. So I just thought about being a dental assistant because this is what dentists who move to United States from my country usually do. They start as dental assistants to get used to the language, to get used to new materials, instruments, and so on. And and then I thought, why not, right? I'm open to this. So I started looking, and I just got in touch with our office manager, Nadine, and and then we did an interview by phone through phone. I think it was February last year. I was about to get my master's degree, and I was so happy because we discovered he got his position, my husband, in 2019 in July. So I started looking for this, and when I spoke to Nadine, I talked to her. Well, I'm arriving in March, so what do you think? Can I start in March? And we didn't know about COVID at that time. So let's.
Right, right.
So what happened was the day I finished my master's, the thing with COVID exploded. So we were supposed to come actually 1 week after that, and all the flights got canceled, and all that thing happened, and we had to postpone our arrival. So I I looked for this. I mean, I was in touch with Nadine this whole time since March to July, where we came in July. So that's how I knew her. I knew all the doctors. We did like two Zoom meetings after before my arrival. So I think that's it. Yeah.
And you started there. Well, it's interesting. You were a practicing pediatric dentist in Brazil. Now
Yeah.
you've transitioned to be a dental assistant in the U.S. at One Manhattan as you're looking at, additional certification. What's the big difference between being a dental assistant
Hmm.
once or coming from being a dentist, and then what are kind of the things you're seeing and running into right there?
Yeah, actually, it's a big difference, right, Rolando? I was not. expecting that much difference. I mean, I did English my whole life, English course, but it's not the same when you have to practice the language, you know. So I have, in the beginning, I had this issue with communication. You know, sometimes I didn't understand something. I don't have a problem like asking questions, you know, but sometimes it can like be an issue, you know. So at the beginning, I think the hardest part for me as a foreign, you know, person working here, I think in any job, not only assisting, you know, it was an issue for me. It was a big difference. But in the field, like if I compare dentistry here with my country, I have to tell you that, like here, I noticed that dentists are more able to practice high quality dentistry and optimize time because it's more easy to get access to high quality instruments, materials, and softwares, you know. And Brazilian dentists are very hardworking and very skillful, but it's not easy to get access to these kind of things, you know, to cutting edge technology. So I think it's the most, it's the highest difference for me. And in my field as a pediatric dentist, I had to, during my residency, I was in a public service, so I didn't had access to high technology instruments at all, you know. So for me, especially for me, I mean, my vision, it was like a huge jump. But what I had to do here, I mean, it was not like in the beginning, it was for me, I saw like too much. I saw the whole thing, but like step by step I saw that was not that different, you know
You
what I
started
mean? Yeah,
meshing.
you know, like the other, when my first week, I I we have to turn on the faucet, you know, when you have to feel the ultrasonic, you know. And I know it's the common thing that occurs to any assistant, but I forgot the faucet on, you know, and I overflowed like some area of the. Sorry, doctors, they are hearing me, but I overflowed an area, you know, and I felt so bad, like, oh my gosh, I'm the worst dental assistant ever. And the other assistant came to me, Anna, this happens, you know, it's not a big deal. And I started to realize that I was like requiring too much of myself, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a dentist. I have to know how to do all this stuff. And it's not like that, you know. You are not used to do some stuff that you are getting used to do at that time, you know. So I just tried to respect my time, and step by step, little by little, I could get there, you know. And I got my confident, and I got my more confident. And as it was happening, I felt like I was getting better, you know. I was learning more.
So it sounds like anytime you start something, you have to learn. Every role has specific
Yeah,
things that you have to do, and
yeah.
it's interesting to see that even as a dentist, there was a lot involved. If you were to highlight, what are some of the biggest changes or the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome as a dental assistant versus dentist? What would some of those be, and what did you do to overcome them?
Like the most challenging things, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Or things that you found were like, whoa, this is really different.
I think like as a dental assistant, you have to be in any position, you have to be very skillful. But I mean, you have to be very technical, and you have to focus on one step um, before the dentist. You have to think about every step, and you also, I mean, you don't have to understand the whole process. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't really have to understand, but you have like this technical skill is good, so you can be fast, you can be effective, you know. But for me, I was trying to do this way, and it was not working for me. I figured out that. I can't do this without understanding what is happening. So I just stopped and I tried to realize what I have to do to have a good performance, like adapted for what is best for me, what works for me. I don't have to try like I'm New York. Things here are much um, faster than I used to be, and I mean it's not bad. It's good also. As I said to you, I'm a very open person. I know that I have to learn, and it's good. But I figured out that I had like to study or try to understand more instead of just learning how to press a button. Just, I have to really know what's happening here. Like, it's not taking the patient to I scanning a 3D scan, for example. We just press the buttons. You have to understand that that person is different from the other one, and because of that you have to use different settings in the machine. So I learned a lot, and thanks God my doctors, they understood it also, because I know it's not easy, to have a foreign person there, and sometimes you need something and you say, and sometimes I don't understand and I have to ask, and and they were very patient to me, and thanks God that happened. Thanks God I found them in my path. But I think this is the most challenging. And also, sometimes, most in the beginning, I try like to watch what they were doing, because as a curious person, I love what they do. I love my profession. I love what I do. So sometimes I got distracted, like I would to see a really interesting case that, oh my gosh, that's so awesome, and Anna, I need this. Okay, okay, okay.
Right.
you
So
know
it sounds like at first you were overcomplicating things, and
Yeah,
then you realize by simplifying and generalizing, it's important to know the details, but it's not as complex
yeah,
as
it's not. I think it was too much going on, the thing with the communication. It was my first time living abroad. And I mean, it was a matter also to try to understand what worked best for me to do better what I have to do. And I think that's it, and they understood that too. They keep saying, Anna, you don't have to do it to yourself, please. Take it easy.
I,
Okay.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier about technologies. What were some of the technologies that you were introduced to here that you haven't seen or you didn't use in Brazil?
Well, first of all, like, it's not that easy to have a 3D scan, for example, in an office there in Brazil. So you have specific places. Of course, you can find one or another dental office that have, but it's not that common. So they have these special places, these radiology places that you have to go in order to get a 3D scan. And also isolite, for example. I never saw isolite there. One time when I posted in my stories a post of isolite, I used the isolite to a post in my office Instagram, and I shared it with my friends. They in Brazil, and I have a lot of friends dentists there, and they were like, "What is it? This is awesome! Where did you get it?" And I was like, "Oh, this is isolate. I know this is awesome. I have to send you the link," and I send them the Zyra's link. I'm not sure if you sent to Brazil, but they were like amazed about isolite.
Well, thank you for that. Were
Yeah.
there process? Is there a big difference in the process between their US and so that you had to adjust to?
Not really.
So
The steps are the same. Yeah. At first, I thought they were different. I was complicating too much because there are different materials, different instruments, but not really. They are exactly the same. Like, of course there are some particularities. help me with that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with with some techniques of each doctor, but doesn't change like the final result, or like the steps are the same. Yeah, you don't have difference between that.
I see. It's good to hear that there's consistency around there, and
Yeah,
also the idea of you come in, I have to know all this, and actually, when you simplify it, it made it easy. If you were if you were to give advice, if you were to give advice to other people, other clinicians who may be in the same role, or other dental assistants, what would your learnings from seeing it from the dental side and now being a dental assistant,
sure.
what top three pieces of advice would you give to people going through the experience now?
I think for dental assistants is to be a very curious dental assistant, because it's very good like to learn and to know how to do everything that you have in the office, and also to share your knowledge with your colleagues, you know, because then you can learn together. Maybe I know something that the other one don't know, but she knows something that I don't know. So we can share, and make this whole thing even easier for us. And I think that for dentals, be curious, want to learn, how to do things to make your office like have a great,
Right.
floating. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
make
right. Flow.
it easier, And for dentists who live abroad and want to come to the US and are considering get a position as assistant, I would recommend go step by step. I knew a guy, a dentist. Now he's a dentist here as well. He was a dentist in Brazil, and he's a very good dentist here. I know that like he's amazing. And he said one time in one live that he took, he said, "Look, I was sent out from an office because I didn't know the name of the instruments, and now look what I am. Where am I? Where I am." And I keep me thinking about that. How important it is for you to know who you are, and to be happy with every step you accomplish. Like, I remember I was very happy the day I first called to someone to try to fix a problem in the office. Like, it's not a big deal, call somewhere to fix some stuff in the office. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did that. I could understand, and I could speak, and I could fix, and it's so amazing. And I mean, I think that's it for dentists. I think that's it. Go step by step, respect your time, have great people around you to support you, to say, hey, look what you are amazing. You can do that to yourself. That was really important for me, Rolando. Really, really important. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the idea of knowing who you are, and
Yeah.
the confidence around that, and also having a good team around you. It sounds like one man hand dental is fantastic. I
Yeah.
love the energy that you bring to this. I love the fact that you're persevering, and you love your craft, and it's so wonderful to hear that from you and to get that advice. The idea of simplifying and not trying to make things so complex
Yeah.
resonated with me because we all tend to do that. So
Yeah, we all tend. Yeah. And we always try to do our best. I think the most important thing is always not to lose your you're willing to learn, your
curiosity.
curiosity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can do much more than you think you can.
Well, Anna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure. If people wanted to reach out to you, they can get you at One Manhattan Dental. Is that correct?
Sure, sure, sure. Feel free.
And if they wanted to send you messages, is there a best way to reach you?
Can be through my email. I don't mind also giving my telephone if they want, but
Email would be perfect.
here is my email. It's Carol, like Carol, Coutoo, like Carol, Cuoto, just like my last name, but double O in the end, at hotmail.com.
Excellent, excellent. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. It's
Rolando.
Friday. I love the energy that you bring. I really appreciate it. Folks, those of you who are watching, if you like this content, please share. If you want to reach out, please reach out to Anna and ask her the questions. Check out One Minute Hand Dental. The doctors over there are awesome, specifically Dr. Raimundi, Dr. Sclafani. I hear that they're
Yeah,
awesome. It's been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you joining us. Maybe at some point you can come back and you can give us an update on how you're doing. Is that
of
cool?
course, of course. I'll be here. Thank you
Excellent.
very much,
If
Rolando.
if you like this content, please share. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you, Anna, for joining us and,
Thank you
and
again.
sharing.
Thank you